We're out here in the woods. It's been raining for the previous 5 days and it is misting currently. Looking for something dry to start a fire with. See if we find that. There's a shagbark hickory here. Here's some big shagbark hickory. Pretty wet down here, but up here looks dry. It's just right off. It's a little damp. We don't want to pull off close stuff, just this super outside bits. This one's not coming off. Woo! Long piece here. These leaves here, leaves are nice and dry, right? These feel pretty damp. Bring a few of them anyhow. See if they will dry out. They look pretty thin, like they might dry out. Get these. Got some bark. Just now need to find some place out of the wind. It's pretty windy too. Don't want the fire to go out. There's some more bark. This is thinner than the other stuff. Nice, dry underside of the tree. Out here is pretty damp still. Ooh, we got some pine needles. These may even light off even though they are wet because of the oil sap inside. Get some of those good stuff. Oh, here it is. A dip out of the wind. Looks perfect. Right here looks good. Got pine needles, leaves, bark. Keep the dampness from the ground off of the fire. Pretty dry. Might just crack and not shave. Kind of want long, thin pieces so the fire can catch on them. Pine needles here on the bottom. I'll use some of the leaves here as wind blocks, and then hopefully they'll dry out enough soon. But I don't know how well this will burn. As you can see, it doesn't really catch on fire. It's still pretty damp. Before I light this off, we will need a lot of little twigs, pieces of wood, because you don't want your fire to go out while you're looking for more wood. Alright, I found these dry pieces here. As much dry as you can get. They're still pretty damp. They're pretty pithy and not very woody, see? Just kind of bend. Want something with a little bit more wood to it and less pithy stuff. These are damp because everything is wet out here. But they're at least, as you can see, this is like damp, and then this lighter color is more dry. Now the harder part is going to be getting large pieces of wood to actually burn. So we want to find drops, branches down that aren't touching the ground, just up here. So they will be more dry than anything that you can find down on the ground. Everything's pretty soaked. Hopefully we can get these to dry out with the twigs that I got enough to burn so we can get our fire ablaze. So breaking these sticks, each break on these, they're not just super dry to snap. So they make these pieces where the bark still holds on. So that automatically gets nice and thin each side. Sometimes a little bit of wood there too. So I'm gonna set these all up and then try to light it. Got thin. Got twigs here. Got them. A bit smaller. Did I prepare enough to light this? Let's see. Alright, I got a big chunk of brown, that color, brown pine needles, cedar actually. Stuff them under here. Okay. A tiny bit of flame. Keep adding those little sticks on top. Inside of the wood here is gonna be dry, so as long as it hasn't been like soaked in water, should be good. And then we got that smoke. But our fire is going. I've got it started. Adding on these bigger twigs, not twigs, they're sticks now. went past the twig stage. Onto the sticks, small branches. Dries out, catches all these sticks on fire. Everything is so wet that it's just barely going. Out here in the woods, super wet everywhere, and it's been done. I've got the fire going. We have heat. We won't freeze. Even though it's so windy, misting, got a fire. It's got everything dried out, so no smoke. Now I know what you might say. Jason, you're cheating. You didn't use matches. I didn't bring matches. I only have a lighter. Also, matches have a lot of wood on them, and that would have been dry, and a lot of burning material that's dry to dry off this other stuff. Now, I got a lighter. I'm good. Thanks.